Gord, a single-player adventure strategy game featuring developing societies, eerie forbidden lands, and remarkable mythical creatures. What's the story? How does it play? We'll get into that today.
Still hearts, in years of slaughter, come, bleed our foes, and when we shall die, please, save our souls.
The story. The world has been affected by eternal darkness. You're tasked to lead the tribe of Dawn, south, uniting the lands you encounter on behalf of a shady monarch. Uniting these lands allows you to learn about your companion's strengths, weaknesses, and personalities as you construct your very own Gord and build a society within it. Improving amenities, fortifying its battlements, and supporting your inhabitants as they start having families of their own, ultimately growing your society. Presentation. The world is dark and beautiful. Gord goes for the realistic, yet medieval and fantasy feel. Reminiscent of Lord of the Rings, or really many other games based around medieval fantasy. It is graphically impressive with their realism in its lighting and weather effects. Characters similarly look like something from other medieval fantasy games with their armors and cloaks. However, their faces lack some detail, but it is still being developed, so they'll most likely gain more detail over time. The enemies in this game seem to consist of various animals, amphibians, and reptiles, like frogs, wolves, deers, snakes, bears, and so forth, with the occasional larger-sized mutated creatures spawning in, serving as enemies of the next tier from your regular goons. Gord also promises ancient mythical Polish creatures, which is yet to be seen. The gameplay. What's interesting is that because of this very narrative where the world is afflicted by eternal darkness, your visibility outside of light sources is very limited, akin to Darkwood. The map will only provide you with limited amounts of information, which makes venturing further and further away both enticing and dangerous. It's a difficult choice between needing to gather resources versus needing to ensure that your people survive to use those resources. You need to enlist warriors before you begin your exploration of the area around your Gord. There are tons of monsters waiting in the darkness, biding their time till you cross paths with them, before they lunge at you to rip your guts out. These monsters are from Slavic folklore with beasts capable of ripping you to shreds and fellow humans who have adapted to the darkness and have been molded by it. Your explorations won't usually go smoothly, which also means that you'll eventually encounter some loss of human life from time to time. As an example, if your warrior gets killed by a monster, you can't just go about recruiting another one immediately. When your warrior is first down, you can revive them, although they will be suffering from some sort of physical ailment, like maybe their movement speed is reduced, or they are now more prone to heart attacks. If your warrior is defeated again, then they will be killed off permanently. It doesn't end there though, as your companions have a sanity meter that you have to look after. And what more can negatively affect your sanity than finding corpses on your adventures? When your companions encounter a dead body, their sanity meter will deplete depending on who the dead body is. If they loot a random corpse in the field for resources, their sanity meter decreases slightly, almost negligibly so. If it was a former companion, then their sanity meter will decrease more significantly. And if the corpse is a relative, like a parent or sibling, the damage to their sanity meter will be immense. You can choose to bury corpses to prevent this from happening, but it is time consuming to do so. This sanity system plays a huge part for your companions. If their sanity drops to 0 and they become afflicted by insanity, your companion's ability to perform in battle will be greatly affected. Maybe they'll forget their orders or decide to desert your group entirely. One ineffective person in your party will have an adverse effect on the entire party, leading to a potentially situation where more people will die, or the whole party's sanity starts collectively going downhill, and then you're in all sorts of trouble. It's not all doom and gloom though, as sanity can be replenished back at the Gord by visiting the Maid Hall. Although it can also affect the people who aren't out on adventures through the thick blinding darkness. As an example, if your warrior starts regretting killing the monsters and humans outside the Gord, you could place him on church duties. This will restore his sanity as he prays. However, all this will be for nothing if you send him out to loot the corpses of his fallen comrades. He'll most likely be struck with fear, rage, or some other emotions that will put your entire party at risk. You must always pay attention to not only your Gord or what you can see on the surface, but also your individual companions, calling for some micromanagement and strategy. In regards to your society that you're trying to build around your Gord, you can't just take everyone out to fight, as you need to have some of your people stay behind to maintain the economy, gather resources, and upgrade amenities like your temple, meadery, and bathhouse. There's also combat in this game which transpires across different ranges and considers various environmental conditions while acknowledging unique synergies between units. There is an entire spell system that will allow you access to incantations preceded by a pre-Slavic language implemented into the game. Enemies can also do a number of things like infiltrate your closed-off settlement while you're not around, or spread neurotoxins that instigate a slowing effect when absorbed. Some interesting types of enemies are ones that will send plagues to your settlement if you do not worship them enough. Those are just some systems available in Gord, with plenty more to discover and experience on your own. Everything seems to be working in tandem, and the systems could get quite complex. This game also includes a survival mode called Custom Scenarios that will feature 1,000 semi-randomized character profiles, dozens of customization toggles, and so forth. First impressions. The story of Gord is quite interesting to me. It is apparently based on ancient Polish mythos that has been forgotten ever since the inception of Orthodox Christianity, that considers some of Poland's older traditions paganism. I do wonder how did the darkness come about, and how uniting the various tribes can bring an end to it. Gord looks to be an interesting blend of Frostpunk, with its central hub being the lifeline of the city, and also CRPG games peppered with the limited visibility of Darkwood. I like that they go for the realistic graphics, as it really heightens the intensity when you're out exploring in the darkness, wondering what's lurking within the shadows. The sanity system is pretty interesting too, which adds life to the characters. Rather than having a one-dimensional character with set personalities, the sanity system gives the characters a dynamic feel to them, responding to their surroundings and not just based on written script. It looks like a game that will quench the thirst of those who are into CRPG adventures, with some building sim blended into it. I, on the other hand, am not too into building sims, with the closest that I've gotten to building sims being 2 Point Hospital, if that could even be called a building sim. Gord will be released sometime in 2023 for the PC, PS4, and the Xbox One. I would imagine that they will develop versions for the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S to capture the new gen console market. So what do you think about Gord? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.